What is up, everybody? Welcome to Texas. It's about 104 out right now, so that's why I'm wearing a hoodie and I'm fully covered, just because it's the sun gets hot. But today we're going to be building some stairs. These are just your traditional stair stringers. The only thing that's going to look abnormal to you guys is we're using OC structural lumber to build these stairs. Now, if you don't know, stairs are one of the main areas where you get a lot of moisture trapped. When you have all of these rises and runs, which we'll get into here in a minute, it's a lot of areas where water can hit. Usually the stairs are out from under a covering. It's high impact, so there's a lot of moisture, there's a lot of impact. It leads to a lot of screws coming loose, a lot of rot. So if you are planning on doing some new stairs on your deck, I would highly suggest using OC structural lumber, because this stuff does not rot, it does not rust. It's not going to have the expansion and contraction. Your screws are going to hold fast for the life of the deck. OC lumber offers a lifetime warranty for residential and a 25-year warranty for commercial. So it's a foolproof way to do it once. I always say, do it nice, not twice. So today we're going to frame these stairs. A lot of people think stairs are challenging. They're really simple if you break it down in the right way. Now, we can use tons of fancy tools to make sure we do it right. We can use a framing square, we can use a speed square, we can use gauges to put on the framing square. I don't have mine right now, but what I'm gonna show you guys how to do is build stairs perfectly with nothing but a tape measure, a saw, and a drill. Most things that you're gonna have in your garage. So, the first thing is you want to make sure that you have your finished surface. Now, if you haven't fully decked your deck, just set a piece of your finished material. Here we have the OC Lumber Wear Deck. This is a barefoot option that they have. And what we're going to do is we're going to set a level on here, and we're going to figure out where, you know, about our height is. So if I just pull down to the gravel here and measure up, it's going to give me 47 3/4. But that's not really worth anything, because obviously I'm here on a significant slope going this way. There's gravel, I could be on a rock, I could be under a rock. So that's not really relevant to me, and our stairs aren't landing here. You know, unless I'm just doing one step, which is a jump, this is kind of irrelevant to what I'm doing here. What I want is, as you guys maybe see down here, is to figure out where my steps are gonna end in order to get my height, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ballpark it, kind of whereabouts my stairs are going to end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a level, take my framing level here, and I'm going to extend it out to where I think my stairs are going to end, right? And I'm going to pull my tape measure out here, and I'm going to hold my tape straight down, and I'm going to make sure I'm looking level, make sure it's sitting flush on my deck, and I'm going to see that I'm sitting at 45.5. So now I have my number, 45.5. See if I can remember that number. So we're gonna go get in the shade because it's hot out here, and I'm gonna show you how we can figure out what our stairs are gonna look like. Here we have a little bit of a drawing. So now you can see, so the rise of your stairs is the amount that you go up each step. The run is how far you go in. So now I always think about it as you rise up and then you run forward. It's pretty self-explanatory, that's why they named it that. So we know right here that the height of our deck at the end portion here is going to be 45.5. Now we got to figure out how many steps do we need to climb that 45.5. Now this is where some guessing is going to have to take place. Most code is going to put your stair rise, so the height of each step, I think the maximum is 9 1/4-ish, and the minimum I believe is, I think, 4 inches. But that could change depending on where you are, what state you're in, what municipality you're in. I think a good rule of thumb is keep your stairs between 7 and 8 inches. 9 is going to be a pretty high step, pretty steep, and 4 is obviously going to be insanely shallow. 6 is still pretty shallow. I like to keep mine between 7 and 8 inches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to divide 45.5 by a couple different numbers, maybe divide it by 4, divide it by 5, see how many stairs we need to get that rise number between 7 and 8 inches. So I'm going to take my construction calculator, and you can use a regular calculator. We're not going to do anything different. You can use decimals. I like this because I can use fractions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 45 inches and 1/2, and I'm going to divide that by, I'm going to guess, 5 stairs. And that gives me 9 1/8 inch. If you can see that there at the top, that gives me 9 1/8 inch rise. So that's too high for me. I don't want to go 9 1/8. So I'm going to clear that, and I'm going to try it again. I'm going to go 45 45 inches and 1/2 divided by, let's go 6. So that puts me at 7 9/16, and I'm actually pretty happy with that. It kind of puts me right there in a nice middle ground. So I'm actually going to go with this. So that means I'm going to rise. I'm going to have 6 steps all the way up to the deck. So keep in mind, so you're actually only building, what we're doing, 6 steps. You're only building 5 steps because that last step is you going up onto the deck. This right here, let's just make it a mess. I feel like a professor. This right here is your last step. Now that we have our rise, we got to figure out what our run is. And usually I base that off of 2 widths of the deck board that I'm going to use. So I actually have that deck right here. So you want to measure what your deck width is going to be, or your deck board width is going to be together. But don't forget to use your gap between each board. So I'm going to measure from here to here and see what my spacing is. So that's 11 inches. So my run is going to be 11. So over here I have rise is 7 9/16. 11 inches is going to be my run. That's all I need to know. Now, I can figure out exactly how far my stairs are going to go out now. So if I have 11-inch run and I'm going to have 6 stairs, let me write that down. 6 stairs, I can multiply 11 times 6, and that gives me 66. Now, hear me out. I need to subtract 11 inches from this because one of those runs is going to be the deck. So then all I have to do is subtract 11, and now I have 55. All right, you guys are going to be blown away with how easy this stair making process really is. The hardest part is getting those 2 numbers that we just got. Watch how easy this is. All I'm going to do is measure down. What was our run? What was our rise again? Our rise was 7 9/16. So I'm going to mark that right here. I mark with a nail on this OC lumber. It just makes it easier. And then from the opposite upside corner, so the way you guys are looking at it, here's my 7, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to mark my 11 because that's my run. Remember, that's how deep my stair is going to be. So bam. Then all I got to do, look how easy this is. All I got to do is connect the dots. This is elementary school stuff. Connect the dots like I'm trying to draw a giraffe, right? Line up those 2 dots. Boom. Look at that. We got a little triangle, little whoop-de-doop-de. Now, I'm going to cut this and see what happens. I got 7 9/16, and across the top here, 11 inches. Watch this. And we're going to place a 2x4 flat on here. I don't have a 2x4 laying around, so I'm just going to cut one right here real quick. What did I tell you? All you need is a screw gun, a saw, and a tape measure. I'm going to take this. The side that is 11 inches is going to be on the bottom. And I'm going to set this, it's going to go like this. It's going to look like we're making a little sailboat, right? We ain't making a sailboat, but it's going to look like we're making a sailboat. So I'm going to take this, and all I'm going to do is screw it down into there. Boom. Take this. Screw it in there. That's the last bit of math we have to do. Now all I got to do, throw this on my 2x12 OC lumber, mark my 5 steps, and we're Gucci. Take this, so this is my run, obviously the short side, 7 9/16. I'm going to put this right up here at the top, and I know that when I mark this, this is my rise, this is my run. Now all I got to do, see this little point? I line that point up right where that line stopped. Scoop, stoop. Boom, look at that, look at that. That's 1, 2, line it up. Doom-de-doom, booty-bop. Line it up. Shloom-de-doom, gloom-de-dop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get ourselves one more. Boom. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. So I always see this here, and everyone kind of stops here. They cut their stringer, and it ends up being perfect. And I'm always like, okay, well, they didn't talk about how they cut that last portion. So when you have this last line on your stair, so this is the last stair, the one that's going to land on your baseline, you're going to want to just square that one off to the back. So I line my square up to the line that I scored here. And then now I have my back line. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this and I'll show you what it ends up looking like. Some people will overcut with their saw and you'll see it go long because your circular blade won't actually get there. I prefer to use a multi-tool or a jigsaw or a sawzall and finish that off. It's just a cleaner cut and it gives you more integrity and strength. With the OC, you don't have to worry about it. You can overcut it, but just out of habit, I don't. And then we just finish it off with this. So now all you got to do with these is slap them on top of your 2x12, trace them. You don't have to do all this math over again. Use this as your template, put it on top of all your other 2x12s, trace out however many you need, cut them, and you'll have however many you need of the same one. I need 4, so I'm going to go ahead and cut 4 more of these, or 3 more of these real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and show you how to put them up there. All right, guys, so this is actually a drop-down ledger board. So this is something like if you're on a pier and beam, that you need to lower your stairs, so you have that final step at the top. You want to add one of these. If you're on like a different type of foundation, it might look different, but this is what we used here. This right here is our ledger board, and this is where these stairs are going to attach, and then this last step here is going to be obviously the last step with the rise of 7 and 9/16. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark out, because these are going to be 12 inches on center. I'm going to mark out 12 inches on center on here. I'm going to go preset some lag screws from the backside, because I'm actually going to screw these on from the backside with power lags. That's going to give me a really clean and secure stair. You'll never have to worry about it again. I'm going to be using these Spax power lags. These are structural screws, structural lags that I'm going to use to screw the steps onto the back, or the stringers onto the back of this ledger board. Again, you don't want to use deck screws for this because deck screws are not rated for load-bearing applications. So make sure you get a structural screw. It'll specify on the box to make sure that you're using the right fastener. So let's go and attach these things. Put my 2 5¼ inch power lags into the back of this. It's sitting down here on the bottom. I'm going to walk up this just to show you guys how strong this lumber and those screws are. This is 245 pounds of concentrated weight right on top of that, and you can see it has some flex, but overall we're good to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set this one over here so that then we can throw a level across, make sure all the middle ones are good, and then we're going to deck this sucker up. So now that we have these 2 outside ones set and we know that they're level, I can set all of my interior ones to that and we'll be good to go.